Hello, everybody! My name is Elisha, and this is another episode of the Roundtable. And what is it we do here? Well, we have fun conversations to just talk things through. That doesn't really matter by the end of the day, but it's still fun to see whose side's which and just to learn more about each other and learn more about the things that we sillily talk about. Today I'm joined by the man, the myth, the legend himself, Jared.
I'm normally hosting, but Elijah tied me up, and now I'm a contestant. So I'm happily but sad to be here on this side. He's tied me up. Help me.
Now I'm the one with the power.
Nah, I'm messing. I wanted to join this time, so I asked Elijah to host. So I am not tied up, and it's good to be on this side of the table.
Yeah, my hands are only busy with this tea in my hand. And we also have the Miss Lovely, Gracie, which her mother, stepmother, and my mother actually know each other. So it's a very small world.
Hello, glad to be back.
All right. So we all know at this point how things go down. We start off with the questions, and then we go into. Typically, we have a coin flip, don't we? See who
It's
goes
nice,
first.
but you're in charge,
Nice.
so
I'm
you
in
you can
charge.
do whatever you want.
I think I have a quarter. I have a quarter in my
Okay,
pocket
that's
right
fine.
now.
Well,
I
I'll let
forget.
ladies
Have the
pick.
power.
So
I have all the power. I don't know what to do with all this power, man.
Don't let it go to your head.
Oh no, it's going
no,
to
let
my
it
head.
absolutely go to your head, please.
All right. I have a quarter. So Jerry, heads or tails?
Well, I'll let Gracie pick because
Oh
ladies.
yeah, ladies first. Ladies first.
Yeah.
Ladies, yes, I'll pick heads.
Heads. All right. Let's see if I flip it. Hopefully, it won't go too far. Ah! I lied. It is heads.
Haha.
If it hit my computer, went flying backwards and landing on heads. And your year is 1985. That is the year of the quarter. So, you have heads. That means we go into first question. Let me pull up real quick of what those questions are. I immediately hopped on and forgot to pull up the questions. Actually, I could pull them up quicker by going to Jared specifically. Because you sent me the questions beforehand. Gracie, question 1. You're starting off with, what is the worst movie that came from any series? You can give me your opening topic.
So, definitively, the answer to this, in my opinion, is the Eragon movie, based off of the book series by Christopher Paolini. Um, it, how to say this politely? It took the source material and tore it to shreds, and then took a quarter of the shreds and pieced them back together in its own little made up puzzle and put the title on it. So while there are recognizable elements of, yes, they were trying to adapt this novel, that's about as far as it goes. And they really just made a mess and a mockery of the whole first novel, which is Eragon. So if you were to ask me, which you have, I would say the worst adaptation would be Eragon.
Funny enough, I think I've actually seen those movies.
There's only one, and for good reason.
It
It flopped
in the
so
back of my
bad.
mind. So now, Jared, it's your turn to give me a little summary of your answer.
Yeah, so mine is even worse, and I will lay out the case why. So I am discussing about Dragon Ball Evolution. Dragon Ball Evolution is a piece of garbage. It should have never been made. I will lay out more things, but since it's the opening statement, it's Dragon Ball Evolution. I'll leave it at that, and then we can jump on into it.
All right. Let's learn each other's perspectives. Gracie, you have the floor.
Well, it's technically either of us, Elijah. So
Oh, is it? I thought the
yeah,
first person goes first. Oh, is it just for summary then?
no, it's just for opening and closing statements.
Oh.
But I'm open to hear what she has to say.
Okay.
So, one of the things that irritates me the most about the Eragon movie adaptation is the complete disregard for attention to detail. For those of you who don't know, in our beloved audience, I work in accounting. I'm a bookkeeper. And so attention to detail is kind of my thing. And whenever they created the adaptation for Aragon, there were so many details that truly make a story, right? Like a lot of stories follow similar plot lines, like there are a lot of archetypes and what have you, and that's fine. And it's the details that you paint with in creating a story that really make the story. And it was a lot of these kinds of details that they just decided, they don't matter, right? Um, and it overall felt incredibly lazy. The story revolves around a dragon and this boy finding a dragon egg that hatches for him, and he becomes the last dragon rider. Right? Cool. Tyrant. He goes to join a rebellion. All that kind of jazz. Wonderful. Um, Dragons, which in a lot of like when you look at Western mythology, dragons are reptilian, right? And this novel was based on the more Western dragon mythos and ideas. And she is described in the novel as like she has scales, she has the leathery webbed wings and all that kind of stuff. And they gave her feathers in the movie. They gave her feathers. Like what? Just it was stupid stuff like that, right? Where they just completely disregarded, and there were major plot points too. That in the first novel, you have Aragon's cousin. He moves to another town to become an apprentice. That way, he can have a job. He can propose to the woman he loves, provide her a life and a home, and all of that good stuff, right? In the movie, they were like, "Nah." He goes and joins the Tyrant King's army, which if they had any intention, which I assume they did, to adapt the rest of the novels, that one tiny choice absolutely throws the entire plot out of whack. I distinctly remember watching that movie with my older sister, and she had not read the novel I had. My older sister looks at me during a big battle towards the end of the movie where the Tyrant King's forces are invading the rebellion's base, and they're fighting, there's magic and swords and all that cool stuff. And my sister turns to me and she goes, "Oh my gosh, is his cousin going to be in the battle? Are they going to have to fight?" And I looked at her and said, "I don't know. This wasn't in the book." It was just ridiculous things like that. They butchered major plot lines. They completely ignored certain details. The characters' descriptions as given in the books, they took as suggestions at best. Their only good decision in the whole movie was to cast, I think his name was John Hurt, as Brom, the old man. I might double check that, but just to make sure I got the actor's name right. But that casting decision, that was the only good decision they made in the whole movie. Everything else was just, are you kidding me? This is poorly written fan fiction with the title of the source material slapped on it. And it's just ridiculous. It's ridiculous. There's no respect for the source material. They just kind of said, we're going to do our own thing here. And it turned out horribly.
Okay, well, from my research, and like I haven't seen the book, I haven't seen the movie. I just did research on it with YouTube.
Yeah.
It's like you at least got like a bit of that, a bit of the book. Now, I think the difference between your injustice and my injustice, because it's definitely injustice.
Yeah.
So basically, man, how do I put this without sounding really political or anything? So basically, yours is like, yeah, they shot up my town, but my injustice is they blew up my nation. Okay, they didn't even try to stick with a lot of the material from Dragon Ball. So, like, imagine this, audience, imagine this. So, I know everyone knows Harry Potter, okay? So, we're going to use Harry Potter for this. So, imagine that basically Dumbledore isn't even in the movie. Ron isn't in the movie. Hermione is calling her wand I don't know what, a stick thingy mabobber.
A golden finch.
Exactly. And then at the end of the day, it turns out that Harry Potter and Voldemort were apparently best friends a long time ago. And that is literally this injustice that happened in Dragon Ball Evolution. So like there's not even characters that are in the movie that should be in the movie. They didn't stick with the source material at all. They decided to just do a crap ton of things. Uh, it even got so bad that the original creator, and sorry if I'm mispronouncing his name, and rest in peace, Atori Koriyama, uh, they invited him to come and help, and then they literally told him no so many times that he left. He's like, "Fine, I'm out. You know, y'all ruined my baby." So I can honestly understand. Okay, like you being a fan of that, I get it. But it's not as bad as this. This is like they blew up my freaking nation. They shot up your town. Bad things, but I think mine's worse.
Yeah, that's a good point. To correct myself, I got actors mixed up. What it was not John Hurt, it was Jeremy Irons, but just to make sure I got that correct. Um, yeah, I know. I definitely see where you're coming from. It sounds like a very bad situation. Um, a- and I will say from because I Christopher Paolini is one of my all-time favorite authors. I absolutely love his work. And so, I follow him on social media and stuff, and he's very much in that same boat as Toriyama, where he's like, you know, they absolutely wrecked everything about it. So I don't think that's necessarily a for creators, artists, writers that have gone on to have their material adapted to a different media. Toriyama is not alone in that, right? Like lots of them
Mhm.
I've seen who the adaptations went poorly, even if it was like kind of decent, but still just not done very well. There are a lot of creators have just been like, wow, yeah, no, that sucks. This was awful. Why did I ever agree to this? Why did I ever sell the rights? And Paolini is definitely one of those ones that's just like, wow, that was a bad decision on my part. Why did I ever agree to let them do that? Um, but yeah, no, and I will say I've never watched Dragon Ball, but there's not a lot that I know about it, but you know, reading bits and pieces. I will say that from what I've read, it seems like one of the things that it did have going for it was that the director, I think, maybe not the director, maybe the writer, I can't remember his name, but like it was a passion project for him. Now, obviously, the passion project just because of people outside of him, had say and it went horribly wrong. But like they had one person on the team really trying to root for it, and from my understanding, Eragon just it didn't have that. It was Paolini gave the rights, and they took it and ran, and they just ran straight away. Um, so it's like at least Dragon Ball did have who was it? James Marsters, I think it was. anyways,
Is that the writer or the director?
I'm not sure. I'm looking at my notes. I just have James Marsters. Um, quick, somebody Google audience. Anyways,
I'm on it.
thank you, Elisha. But like he really did have from what I read, he did have a love and a a passion. I'm trying to think of another word. Man, it's been a long day. He really wanted to see this project done well. Now, obviously, there were people around him that didn't care so much, and they veered it off the tracks. But at least they had somebody on the team that was really, really trying to make something work.
If I can step in for just a moment,
Yeah. Go for
was
it.
Ben Ramsey. Um, he was the screenwriter.
Okay. Well, my next thing comes to actually the writer.
Hmm.
Maybe the director, big
James
fan.
Wrong. Yeah, James Wong is the
Cool.
director.
Yeah, maybe director was a big fan. Thing is, it was crap. The thing is, it was so horrible that the writer and actors apologized for making this movie. That's how bad it was. Now, I don't know if anyone apologized for your movie, but it's bad whenever like even your actors, your writer has to apologize for the work that they did.
That's pretty bad.
It is bad.
That's
Did
pretty
anyone
rough.
apologize for Eragon? Just curious.
Not to my knowledge. But, you know, also it was one of those movies that like I read the book and I was so excited to watch the movie and I watched it and I was just like, what is this nonsense? And tried to delete it from my memory. And it's plagued me ever since. So yeah, man, that is pretty rough.
Yeah,
Um,
and
I
like
did look it
the
up. James
okay,
Marsters was one of the actors. He played um Piccolo. Piccolo, yeah.
yeah, Piccolo.
Um, yep. So he did really love Dragon Ball Z. But so yeah, he wasn't one of the writers or directors or anything. He was one of the actors.
And
Um,
I think uh, maybe one of the producers was Stephen Cow. I think how you say his last name, Chow. He was really passionate about the film apparently, and he was originally going to direct it himself before 20th Century Fox chose James Wong. So it could have been filmed by an actual passionate fan versus someone they just randomly chose.
Yeah.
So now the more you know.
And the thing is, I don't know if your guy, your the original author was a part of uh anything with the movie. I hope he was. And it doesn't sound like he
he
was.
was.
He was?
I,
Okay.
I think like just barely. He was. I know he's credited. But I know that from my understanding, because he was very young, he was published at a very young age. So he was still pretty young when he sold the movie rights and stuff. So he's credited as being a writer, but he has come back and said like they kind of steamrolled him in the
Yeah.
process.
Well, I mean, hey, at least he had nothing to do with that. And I think the only really good thing, really only two things that I can say about Dragon Ball Evolution is they did get the original voice for Shinron. That's the dragon. That's the only really thing they done right. And number two is it was so bad and they ignored Toriyama so much that it inspired him to create Dragon Ball Z Battle of the Gods, which led to Dragon Ball Super. Literally, the movie was so bad that it inspired the new anime series. So, like, those are the only two things that were great about it.
Um, my audio cut out for a second there.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, that's entirely on me. I heard it inspired a new anime as kind of like a
Yeah. So
resentment,
so
like
he
we're gonna do this
he
better.
he made a movie, an animated
Yeah.
movie, which led to that being recreated to Dragon Ball Super, basically.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, that's cool. I know Paolini has for a while been trying to redo Eragon as a TV series because that was another big thing that it happens a lot, especially with fantasy novels when you try to take them to movie form, is fantasy novels as a genre tend to be a lot longer than, other genres. And so there's are a whole lot of details and whatnot that end up getting cut and falling aside. And there were massive chunks of like really good story and world building that got cut in favor of the movie. And so I know for quite a few years, Paolini's been trying to do Aragon as a TV series instead. That way you can get all those details and all the stuff. Kind of Game of Thrones, honestly, as much as I dislike its existence, it did kind of set a good precedent for fantasy novels being turned into TV series instead of um, movies in order to be able to better adapt and communicate the story without losing so much of it. So that's about as far as he's gotten. I feel like the last I heard of it, he was trying to get with like Disney Plus, which we see how well that went for Percy Jackson, so it makes me suspicious.
I felt like Percy Jackson was okay, but that's just my opinion. But we're not here to talk about that.
Yeah. We can talk about that another time.
Yeah, but yeah, I got one question to really ask you. So we're all the characters in it. Now I know they added the main villain in the movie whenever they weren't supposed to add him in. They maybe mentioned him, but he wasn't supposed to be on screen. But were all the characters in it?
No, not all of them. They had to cut, from what I recall, which, gosh, now I'm like about to say something, and now I'm like, maybe I should double check that before it comes out of my mouth because it's been a minute since I've watched it. But I don't remember the twins being there, which, again, they were a crucial part of the story.
Okay, they were a crucial part.
Um,
Okay.
yeah, and they kind of had to just, blur over what they were supposed to do. And I am double checking IMDb, and yeah,
Several characters were completely cut out of the film.
yeah, it
There's a
was.
whole list. The twins is one of them.
Yep.
Someone named Solo Bomb,
Oh yeah,
Katrina,
Samban. Gosh.
Gerard,
Yes.
Elva,
Yes.
and Auric was all
Yeah.
left out, and also
Yeah. The
some
twins
characters
were the
were.
ones that came to mind immediately because there was a crucial moment towards the end of the first novel and in the movie where they, kill this one person, collapse the tunnel, kidnap somebody else, and it's this whole big thing, right? And they just weren't there, and it was like, are you kidding me? But yeah, Solomon. Oh my goodness, Solomon.
Okay. Well, I can move on to closing statements if you are. Are you there?
I'll give me Kagag again.
Yeah, I guess so. We can just talk about her behind her back.
Gracie
Gracie says.
but we can't hear
Gracie
her.
says that I won, so it's okay, guys. She doesn't need to say anything else.
I was reading also.
This may or may not stay in there.
Nah, this would be like that one where it's adding at the end. It's funny. Her thing too. Also, some characters were apparently so unrecognizable that people had no idea. They thought they left them out.
Oh,
That's
wow.
what I'm reading over here.
Did it cut me out again? I think it cut me out.
Yeah.
Didn't you hear us make fun of you?
Did you hear us?
I know. I started talking about the twins and how them cutting the twins out was like a major thing for the
Yeah,
end of the.
we got that part. At least we got the part talking about the tunnel
Yeah.
falling in, and then
Yeah.
it looked like you were
Yeah.
finished. And then Jared's like, "Okay, I'm ready for closing statements if you are."
And also I talked about how you conceded and I won, so it's okay.
Yeah, no concession here. I
Okay.
got cut out because in my defense, I live in the middle of the woods, so sometimes service and whatnot gets funky out here.
Yep, I understand
That's
that.
fine. We'll all
I've
get cut
been
out.
I lived out there once too.
Yeah.
I
Um,
understand.
yeah. Yeah, closing statements. We can do closing statements.
Let's do it.
I'm trying to think. So I went first on the opening, so I
So I
go.
go.
Oh,
You
is
go.
it?
Okay,
Yeah.
I
Okay.
I couldn't remember which direction it went.
Well, I go. I go and then you because uh yeah, to get to go first is kind of the advantage. Really. So
Oh,
like you get the advantage.
yeah. Well, I guess in my head I thought because I had the advantage of speaking first, you get the advantage of having the last word. But either way
It's how
is
I did it and that's how I'm going to stay to it.
yeah. No, by all means, it is your
Yeah.
turn, man.
Okay.
You
So
have the
whenever
floor.
you're ready to tell me, Elijah, tell me.
All right, Jared, you can give us our first closing statement.
Okay. So with Dragon Ball Evolution, it just leaves out a lot of the characters. They don't really do a good job at all. Imagine the really worst fan fiction that no one ever wanted, no one ever asked for, and that's what you got. You got just things that don't make sense. You have characters that aren't there. Kami's not there. You don't have these emotional things of Krillin being killed and Goku really dealing with his anger and fighting Demon King Piccolo. You don't have Demon King Piccolo being reincarnated into Piccolo. It just seems like it's the same guy. And at the end of the day, kind of is the same guy in the series, but he's reincarnated, and it makes it different. Uh, they didn't stick to the source material at all. They're being gracious by calling it Dragon Ball Evolution.
Wonderful. All right, my turn.
Yes.
Elijah, you there?
Okay.
I'm done.
Yes. All right, Gracie, it is your turn now to give your
right.
closing statement.
Eragon, the movie, does not deserve to have that title applied to it. Much in the same way as Dragon Ball Evolution, they disregarded the key details of the source material and decided to change random plot points that completely rewrite the entire story, and they glossed over or left out altogether crucial people. And so, while it may kind of look at first glance like Christopher Paolini's novel, the heart and soul of the story is entirely absent. And they missed the whole mark. It wasn't just that they missed the mark, they weren't even in the range to begin with in order to hit the target in the first place. They were two parishes over. So, yeah, that's why I think the Eragon movie is the worst adaptation of any movie adaptation of any media, in my humble opinion.
All righty then. If we are ready, we will move on to the next question,
Yay.
which
Yeah,
is
let's do it.
everybody fans' favorite. Our next question is Deathstroke or Deadpool? And Jared, you are the one doing the opening statement.
Yeah, I am. Tell me when I'm ready, and I'll go.
All right, Jared, whenever you're ready, you may proceed doing your opening statement.
Yeah, so I picked Deadpool because Deadpool is the more recognizable character. He's had more movies. He's had more comics. I'll just keep it plain and simple, so I don't do my whole argument in this whole minute. I picked Deadpool, the merc with the mouth.
All right. Gracie, what is your opening statement?
So obviously I picked Deathstroke, and to keep it short, sweet, and to the point, I think that Deathstroke has a lot more going for him. As a mercenary, yeah, I think that despite not being as instantly recognizable as Deadpool is to, the general public and whatnot, Deathstroke has a lot more skill and intelligence, and just all around, he is a much more formidable threat, in my opinion.
Right. With opening statements being said, we may begin the round. It is anyone's floor.
Yeah, so I disagree about Slade Wilson being the better Wilson, being the better Dead. So you can kill the man, okay? Batman, he's even said Batman is able to kill me. He held back. Deadpool, you can't kill. Literally, you can like put a bomb in him and he'll explode, and then his healing factor, he just comes back as this ugly cancer guy that just makes jokes and literally laughs it off and then shoots you in the head for trying to blow him up. So like I don't think he's more of a threat. I think Deadpool's the threat because if you can't kill a man, how are you going to stop him? At least with Deathstroke, you can kill him.
And that is a fair point in the fact that, Deathstroke is still just a man who can be killed. But the thing that makes him more formidable, more terrifying, in my opinion, is he can be killed. And yet, he's lived as long as he has as a mercenary, um, by using his intelligence, by using his skills. He has outwitted people. He has managed to make it this far, and by golly, he's still alive. He's still kicking, and he can still kick your butt. And to me, that's more terrifying. Like, Deadpool, he's just, like, yeah, he's a threat. Hands down, yes, Deadpool is a threat. But he's here for the giggles, and he's the merc with the mouth. Deathstroke's not going to announce his presence. He's not going to sit there cracking jokes and make himself a target. He's just going to do the job before you even know he's here. And so to me, it's that intelligence, it's that skill, that the depth that he has to go to in order to maintain his lifestyle, his everything. That's just insane to me.
Yeah, but I mean, like, is he more intelligent? Yes, I'll give you that. But that doesn't mean he's more dangerous. Like, if he could figure out a way to reverse Deadpool's mutation, then yeah, maybe Deathstroke is so much better. But also with Deadpool, uh he's in a lot more things. You can use Deadpool as a good guy, an anti-hero, a bad guy. I've seen him in all those things be all those three. Now mainly he is the anti-hero. Uh but he's been all three with Deathstroke. You can maybe say he's been an anti-hero, maybe, but he's been the villain. With Deadpool, there's more variety of how he's been used and how you can use him.
Yeah, that's understand. That's yeah, I see where you're coming with that. But I don't know. I'm like, as a writer myself, I'm just really applaud well crafted characters, right? Be they heroes, villains, anti-heroes, what have you. When they're well crafted, that's where I'm just like, that's really great. And yeah, Deathstroke is consistently a villain, but man, is he a really well made one, you know? Like the writers, the creators did such a good job of giving him motivation, giving him um, all of this depth, and that's what really is just awesome. Not to say that like Deadpool doesn't have depth, but it's like, I don't think that Slade's, consistency as a villain is a negative for him and for his character. I think it's just a function of how well they wrote him as a character, specifically to be a villain, but he's got um so much good depth to him.
Yeah,
Um
and I'm not saying like, oh no, he's a horrible villain. I'm just saying
yeah.
that I think that Deadpool is better because you have more variety of what you can do with him. It's like if I give you just a basket and it only has ice cream, man, that's a great dessert. But if I give you let's see, what's a good thing? Man, my mom went blank. So basically, if I give you, uh, gosh, if I give you a basket of basically, I don't know, steak, you can do more than just dessert with steak. You know what? This is a bad analogy. Basically, what
I
I'm
was
trying to
just
say
about
is,
to say that.
yeah, it's a bad analogy. But the point is, like
I
with
don't really want steak for dessert, my friend.
yeah, I'll let you talk. I want to come back with my point real quick, okay? I want to think about it
Yeah,
more.
that sounds good. That sounds good. Um, to kind of circle back around as to like Deathstroke's, I guess prowess as a mercenary, as a villain, what have you, is in the comics he is off. He is, I mean, let me words. Let me get myself on track. He was introduced initially as a villain to the Teen Titans, and he's kind of through the different iterations into Titans, all that kind of jazz. He's kind of stuck with them, particularly in any iteration that's got Robin, Dick Grayson, Nightwing, whatever. And to me, that showcases his skill, right?
Yeah.
Because you've got a team with, a world renowned acrobat, an alien that can shoot solar beams from her hands, a shapeshifter, an Atlantean, an Amazonian warrior, like, and a speedster. We can't forget about Wally, good old Wally. Like that's the
We
Teen
only
Titans
count the
slash.
animated series. That's the only one we count.
Listen, brother, listen. Absolutely not. Get your butt out of here. Um, I grew up reading the new Teen Titans, and you can pry it from my cold dead hands. Um, oh, I have a funny little side story, but we're in the middle of a discussion,
Well,
so
we can talk
side
about it
story
later.
can wait.
If you're done,
Um,
I think I have my point now. Thought more
yeah,
out.
okay, by all
So
means.
basically, I think of Deathstroke as ice cream. Yeah, it's good, but you can only do ice cream with it. Now, Deadpool is more like cheese. Okay, you can do a lot of things with cheese. You can actually make mozzarella sticks, which is kind of like you can kind of think of it kind of as a dessert or appetizer. You can make tacos with it, pizza, all this stuff. There's more variety to cheese than there is ice cream because you can only do dessert stuff with ice cream. With cheese, you can do more. So Deadpool is cheese and Deathstroke is ice cream. Might be great ice cream, but it's just ice cream. That's why one of the reasons I think that Deadpool is better. There's more variety with him. You can do more stuff with him.
I see where you're coming from, and to follow the analogy, cheese, when you're talking about the variety, the things that you can do with it, you have to incorporate other stuff, right? Cheese as a standalone is very much like ice cream. It's good, but it's also a block of cheese. And so, it's kind of that thing of, all right, Deadpool's the cheese, but you gotta throw Wolverine in there to make tacos, right? You gotta do other stuff. I do see where I don't know, man. I'm trying my best to
Yeah.
flip this
But
around.
here's the
But
thing,
it's like
though.
I also
Here's the
see where you're
thing,
coming
though.
from with this analogy.
Here's the
Yeah.
thing. What is pizza without cheese? Now, my wife loves it because she doesn't like cheese, but
And I'm lactose intolerant.
it shouldn't be a thing, okay? It shouldn't be a thing. Tacos, yeah, it could be good without cheese, but man, is it so much better with cheese. So, like, I think you kind of have a small point there, but the cheese enhances everything, Gracie.
And the dessert caps it all off.
But that's the thing. You can use cheese as dessert. What about mozzarella sticks? It can be appetizer and heck, cheesecake, Gracie. Cheesecake.
See, at this point, I'm just trying to be pedantic and push your buttons.
Oh, we want to press each other buttons? Is that what we want to do?
No, 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 no,
Yeah,
no,
see, that's
no,
what I
no,
Would-
no.
thought.
Let's
She was
walk it
like,
back.
hey, let's have a nice, great
What's-
conversation, Jared. And I was like, yeah, let's do that. Oh, I'm pressing your buttons now. Okay, I'll press them back. We can do it however you want.
Whoa.
I am pressing buttons in
whoa.
a very kind and friendly manner, sir. Okay.
Playful,
But one last thing that I would want to say is that there's more movies, there's more comics that have Deadpool in it. There's more Deadpool comics. Now, I think there might be one or two Deathstroke comics, which, like I said, he's more of the villain, which that's fine, but he's more of the villain. And like I said, that's fine. He can be a great villain, but this is why I think Deadpool is better. He has more comics. He has more movies. There's more stuff about him. He even has his own video game.
See,
He's
I
in
say just
more
because
video
there's
games.
more doesn't necessarily mean it's better or that the more is good. Like, okay, I'm gonna use Nightwing as an example
Yeah,
because
that's fine.
his are the comic books I have read the most of, right? I think I've read every Nightwing comic book up until the early 2000s, and I don't know, or maybe I don't know, maybe even up to New 52. I can't remember. But there's a lot. Like, man, Nightwing has had a lot of comics written. There's a massive run just for him. And there's some absolute garbage in there. Like, oh my gosh. I remember reading, like, let's say a comic comes out once per month, right? I remember reading like 2 years, 24 or more comics, and it was all following like a general arc together. It was awful. I was like, I've read fan fiction better than this. Like, what on earth were they thinking when they wrote this? And so, like, yeah, Deadpool's in a lot more stuff. Yeah, he's got a lot more to his name, but that doesn't necessarily mean that all of it's good or that all of it's well done. Just because Deathstroke's not quite as popular, he doesn't have as many movies and comics, doesn't make as many appearances, it doesn't automatically mean that it's worse.
Okay. I'll counter your point. So let me ask you something. Now, do you eat pizza? Because if not, I'm going to figure out a different situation. Because I know you said you're lactose intolerant.
Well, I eat gluten-free vegan pizza because that's the only stuff I can find that doesn't hurt me.
Okay. That's fine. That's fine. Let me ask you this. Okay, so, would you rather than have great value, chicken sandwich from Walmart or Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich.
I mean, sorry, my cats are being insane in the background. I got
Yeah,
distracted.
that's fine.
Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A sandwiches are definitively
Now,
better.
Gracie. Now, there's some horrible Chick-fil-A sandwiches. There's some horrible Chick-fil-A. Like if the wrong person makes a Chick-fil-A sandwich, it's going to go all wrong. Now, of course, there are going to be some bad Chick-fil-A sandwiches, just like there might be some bad comics with Nightwing and stuff like that. The reason why people want it is because they're more popular. That's the reason why people try to make more Nightwing stuff. And that's why I think that there's more Deadpool stuff, because he is more desirable. Maybe there's some bad stuff. I haven't really read or seen any bad stuff. Maybe stuff that kids shouldn't see. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to give you that. But nothing necessarily like, oh my goodness, this sucked. It's like, yeah, this is a horrible joke. It's too funny. I probably shouldn't read it. That's the closest I've come to. So just because, there's some bad stuff, I mean, every tree is not going to, every apple tree isn't going to produce like a fresh apple each time. Sometimes it gets bad. Doesn't mean the apples suck.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. I'm trying to decide if I want to keep going on this
Yeah, I
point.
was gonna step
I'm
in and
fine with
say,
whatever you want.
if you guys are ready to move on, let me know.
Yeah.
I can.
We could do closing statements.
Yeah,
Well,
let's
Gracie, you go first anyway,
hang on.
so... Oh, yeah.
Gotta get the noise in.
Yep. Gracie,
Yeah.
you shall go first.
So I am just personally of the opinion Deathstroke is better than Deadpool. I think that because he doesn't have the superhuman healing, the inability to die, he has to work harder to be the kind of successful, skilled mercenary that he's shown to be, and I think that marks him as someone who's just a lot more skilled at what he does, and I feel like he's got a lot more going for him on that end than Deadpool does, so I think he's better.
All right, Jared, can you give us your closing statement?
Yeah, I think that there's more variety in Deadpool. Deadpool has more things, and I think that maybe there might be something out there. People, you can leave it in the comments. There might be something bad, but I've never seen anything that's like, man, like this sucks. This is bad. Maybe too dirty. Maybe too like bad with the jokes in the sense of like, that's a horrible joke. Maybe shouldn't have said that. But I've never been like, oh man, this is just outright bad with Deadpool. There's more of him than Deathstroke. And, also Deadpool has a kid. Does Wade have a kid? Maybe.
Yes.
But you know what? Hey, this is my closing statement, okay? This is my closing statement. I should get more time, Elijah.
He should. You asked. He has 2 children, actually.
That's good to know. That's good to know. I mean, if you're going to make false statements, Jared.
I just asked a question. I didn't make a false statement.
Oh well. Either way, you
point is that I'm trying to make is I think that he's a more popular character, and there's a good reason why. So that's my closing statement.
Okay. Well, let's move on to our next question. Get your pointy shoes and your super short shorts, because the next question is, who is the better Robin? And Gracie, you are first up to make an opening statement.
So I'm gonna preface this answer for you, Jared, even though you know my answer already. We agree on this one, but for the sake of continuing conversation, I chose a different answer, obviously. And this one is entirely just pathological in the sense of it's my feelings that are dictating this answer. So this is going to be an interesting conversation. Opening statement. Woohoo! I chose Damian Wayne. Good old son of Batman, Mr. Bruce Wayne, and Talia al Ghul. I really enjoy him as Robin. I love the character growth that we get to see, having grown up to be trained as an assassin. And obviously, I'll get more into all of this, but I think that Damien is just a really good example of what Robin is supposed to be. And so I really love his run as Robin.
All right, Mr. Jared, you are up now.
Well, I first encountered this character whenever I was probably about 4 or 5 years old. Okay, so imagine yourself watching the new animated series of Batman, them recontinuing them, and I'm talking about the Tim Drake Robin. Now, I might point out some stuff from the animated series with this Tim Drake. Only really one, if I have to, because this Tim Drake is like a real little kid. But I will reference probably more of comic books and stuff like that. I think that he is the perfect Robin for Batman, and that is my opening statement.
All
Awesome.
right, with
3, 2, 1, go!
all right, the floor is your guys's.
So here is the complaint that I raised against you. Tim Drake is almost, obviously not entirely, he's almost too perfect as Robin. Now, this is just in my experience, what I've seen and read. But like, Tim is often said to be like the actual like world's greatest detective, right? Like he's the true detective, behind Batman, right? And he figured out Bruce's identity, Dick's identity, all of that kind of stuff when he was still a kid. Like, kiddo's smart, He was the one that went out and figured out that Bruce hadn't really died in, gosh, which one was it? Uh, it was whichever one of the more recent ones where, like, he died, Dick took over. That was when Damien was first really introduced as Robin. Like, Tim was the one that was like, nope, he's still alive and I'm going to go prove it, and went on this big old journey. And what do you know? He was right.
You know what? Be careful, Gracie. You're making my argument for me, so keep going.
Well, that's my thing, is like, he's just too good, right? Like, Robin's a kid. He's supposed to be a kid that grows, that is mentored by Batman, that, gives Batman a new perspective, softens him, whatever. Like, there is a mentorship relationship that's supposed to happen. How can you do that if the kid's already perfect and just needs to get a little bit bigger?
Let me ask you something. What is the question?
Who's the best?
Who is the better what?
Robin.
I rest my case.
I just say he doesn't. Okay.
Thank you. I didn't have to say anything, Gracie.
See, okay, this question is hard, because I really kind of already agree with you on this one, and I'm trying to find a way to spin it. I'm trying to focus on like the storytelling, the character growth. Like we want the storytelling, the character growth. How can you tell a good story with a character that doesn't grow?
Well, here's the thing. You said that he's an amazing detective, and that's why I think he's the better Robin. So like literally the thing was, the reason why he became Robin was because he saw that Batman needed a Robin. Okay, he went to Dick, And like he's like, make me your Robin. Took a little bit of convincing, but he did. I will say,
Yeah.
at first he lacked in the fighting. So like there's his weakness.
Mm.
There's the development. He took time to actually learn how to fight. That's his weakness. Also, if you want a really interesting story, this is where I'm going to pull really from the animated series. And so really not even the animated series, but more of Batman Beyond Return of the Joker. So if you know what I'm talking about, guys, all Batman fans know what I'm talking about. You have the Joker returning in Batman Beyond. Okay, so Bruce was like, the Joker's dead. Like, there's no way that he returned. Well, what happened is, so Joker wanted a kid, so he kidnapped Tim Drake, Robin, brainwashed him, basically turned him into his own son, gave him the makeup, all that stuff, messed him up worse than Jason Todd, because at least with Jason Todd, he killed him. With Tim, he literally brainwashed him to saying like, hey, you're my son, all this stuff, messed him up all in the brain, okay? And so what happened was they reversed Tim's effect of the Joker, and it turns out like they didn't fully do it. So like at some point something triggered in him that made him return as the Joker. Now, is that amazing storytelling or what, Gracie?
Can I just question as a side note? What
Yeah.
is it with DC villains stealing Bruce's children to brainwash them into perfect little son surrogates? Because
Well, I
man, that
can only
happens a
think of
lot.
two. What other times?
Uh, well, yeah, I guess
It's only
if
really
we had a
Jason
nickel,
and
no,
even in this,
and
like
Dick,
Tim, what happened to Dick exactly?
Slade Wilson kidnapped him at some point,
Oh,
or
really?
I can't remember if he successfully kidnapped him, but Bro was like jonesing for a long time to be like, hey, yeah, you're gonna be my sidekick, not the Batman's sidekick. And
Well, did it work?
yeah, it's been a minute. I don't remember.
You
There's
don't
also
even know. Because the only other
brother.
time that I know that one of his sidekicks were kidnapped, it was Jason Todd, and this is Arkham
Yeah.
Arkham Knight, to where like he was going to get him to confess that like, oh hey, like who's the Batman, and before he said anything, he
Yeah.
shot him dead. You know, that's the only other time that I can think of someone brainwashing him. So it's a Joker that's really just brainwashed the Robins, and not even in the comics.
Now I'm like, well, I gotta double check my sources. But yeah, no, I will admit that is incredibly good storytelling. Yes.
Yeah, it's
But
like yeah, it's like they use something from both Robin and Joker,
yeah,
and just like pushed it into Batman Beyond whenever like in the future the Joker isn't around. It's a gang that basically worships Joker called the Jokers original. I
yeah.
know. So it's just a really creative way of bringing Joker back without bringing him back. But that's what DC does. Whenever they kill off Joker, they're like, how do we bring him back?
hmm Let me see. Yeah, now I'm questioning if he was ever able to actually kidnap Dick or if it was just an attempt and it didn't quite work. Anyways, either way, if we had a nickel for every time it happened, we'd have two nickels, but it's strange that it happened
Yeah.
twice. But okay, cool. Let me flip back around. So if we're gonna look at Robin, right, we gotta look at like what Robin is supposed to be. And the kind of like, I guess, precedent that Dick set for the Robins, is child vigilante that, is the sidekick, the it's like the other half, you've got Batman and Robin, right? You always have them together, and so Tim was definitely right about that. Like Batman needs Robin. But more than that, it's like you've got this kid that needs Batman as much as Batman needs him, right? There is the mutual like mentorship and growth. Like Robin kind of softens Batman in a lot of ways, and um, you know, Robins kind of grow into their own as they get older and stuff. And like that's what I like about Damien as Robin, because he starts off as this, angry, pretentious, just absolute butthole of a child, who's been taught so many horrible things, and is, being raised up to be an assassin and all of that jazz. And he ends up in his father's care. And it's in being Robin that like he does what Robins are supposed to do. He grows. He learns how to be better. He learns those morals that are so often like associated with Batman. We don't kill, all of that kind of stuff. And so that's why I really love seeing Damien as Robin, because you get to just see that relationship. You get to see like, yes, this is why Robin needs Batman as much as Batman needs Robin. um so that's about all I got for you there.
Yeah, I will say the thing about Damien, very interesting. Like if we're going
Mm.
for the most interesting Robin, yeah, you can say Damien. And if that's what you think is who is the better Robin, I mean, I'll give you that. But what I view as the better Robin is who will better support Batman, and I think that's Tim. And another thing is, in future just comics, like later on, if you look at Damien, he's an assassin. He's not sticking to the code. Yeah.
Bro, I'm behind them.
And well, it's like in Batman Beyond comics, where he goes back to the League and he's like, from what I understand, fact check me if I'm wrong. Anybody, you can
That's what
say,
I'm
Jared,
doing
you're
right
wrong.
now.
Exactly, fact check me, because that's what I understood. Now, maybe that's not every storyline of future Damien, but from what I understood, it's like in the future he just goes back to being an assassin. And it is interesting, but I don't think that's the perfect Robin. I don't think that's the best fit for Batman.
Well, and see, the Damien that I'm most familiar with is there was a short comic run. I say short; it was a couple of years, called the Super Sons, and it was Damien, Wayne, and Jonathan Kent.
Damien, Damien's future turns from vigilantism towards a life of Megason, and Earth Zero's continuity. Jared, you are mentioning the Batman Beyond,
exactly,
which is separate. He does become the head of the League of Assassins. But in other alternate timelines, he becomes something else. But in the main timeline, it seems that he turns from vigilante to then go do Megasons.
Okay, so like either way, depending on how you look at it, but that's the main Earth future. Okay.
Well, sorry, you continue.
No, you go.
Yep.
Well, if you guys are ready,
I'm ready, but Gracie can keep going.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Gracie.
Sorry, I cut you off.
One more thing. No, you're fine. You're fine. So, that the main continuity. That's what I was familiar with. Was Damien eventually, once he's kind of done his tenure as Robin, starts looking towards medicine like his grandfather. But in the Super Sons run, there's an instance where you have Damien and John are like seeing potential futures of themselves, like, which is kind of like from what I remember, it was like if you continue the way you are now, like this is possible future that we'll in. And it was one in which Damien had taken over being Batman so that Bruce could finally retire. And I think he even like married Selena. And but so like all of that to say, in that instance, in the one with the main continuity where he eventually becomes a doctor, it's like you see that growth. You see, the title of Robin, I guess, functioning as it's intended and taking a lost kid that is just, misled, misguided, and growing them into a better person, right? And I feel like that's a lot of what kind of the title of Robin is for. It's for these kids that are like, they're wanting something greater. They're wanting to do something. They're wanting some kind of action. And in functioning as Robin, it transforms them into kind of a better person in a lot of ways. Obviously not always perfect, but that's my thoughts.
Well, I meant to do
Thanks.
something like this at the beginning, so I'll do it now. So give it like 2 seconds. That's for you, Jason.
Phenomenal. Poor guy.
That's the closest thing I had to crowbar sound, so I had to do 2.
Yeah, no, that's fair. That's fair.
I meant to do that at the beginning, but I forgot. So,
Gosh.
Well, Jared, you are leading the closing statement, so you can go first.
So I think that if you want the more interesting Robin, you can go with Damien, which I won't argue, but I think for this question, I think you need the best fit for Batman, the guy that will actually support instead of hinder Batman. And even Gracie has said, like, hey, there's points at the beginning where he's a brat. He's hindering Batman. There's times whenever he's even killing people as Robin, from what I believe. Yeah, he turns that around eventually. And if you're going based off of Batman Beyond, which that is an alternate future, I guess, he does become League of Assassins. Now, I understand that, I guess later on, in the normal timeline, he becomes a doctor, which that's great. But my point is, I still feel like Tim Drake is the better fit to support Batman. I feel like that's what the better Robin is the one that is going to support Batman the best.
All right, Gracie.
I'm actually going to get water, so I'll be back.
How dare you?
It's a perfect time for Gracie to go then.
Yeah, so this one has been very difficult for me to discuss. We're not going to say argue or debate because it's a discussion. This one has been difficult because Tim Drake is pretty great. But I do just really love Damien's arc. I love seeing how the title of Robin facilitates such growth in a person and how he just changes for the better by being Robin. And I feel like a lot of what Robin is that taking on responsibility and becoming a better person because of it. And so I think that's why I really enjoy Damien's run, because it kind of exemplifies, in my opinion, a lot of what being Robin is about.
All right, this is a part of the show where we talk about Jared behind his back.
Yeah!
I can hear you, right? It's just I'm stepping away from the mic.
It was just going to be great things. Jared particularly,
All good things,
without him, I would not have gone to my DTS. You know, he was my one-on-one. He was there for me. And
Mm.
anyways, so
The audience doesn't even know what that
Hey,
is, except that
listen.
they went through YWAM. So
Right. I mean, I was about to say, like, this man has welcomed me and my husband into his home and cooked us breakfast. So I don't know what more we can say about a friendship. Like,
if you come to my
that's
house, I'll cook you breakfast if you stay
I'm gonna come to your house.
that's some
Jared.
pretty solid friendship, you know?
here.
All right. All right. So we just talked about who is the better Robin, but who's Robin without Batman? But what happens to Batman if there is no Batman? So the next question is, who is a better Batman replacement? Who would be fulfill the shoes of Batman himself? And the person that is going to lead is none other than the Batman expert himself, Jared. You have the floor.
Yeah, so I feel like you need someone that is going to make the Batman character better. And I feel like the best replacement is no other than his biological son, Terry McGinnis, Batman Beyond. So that is what I want to be arguing about. Who is the better Batman replacement? I feel like he improves Batman, and if you still want something interesting, it's like he's still a younger version of Batman trying to learn the ropes. And later on, he becomes the best version of what I think Batman should be.
Right, Miss Gracie, the floor is now yours.
Again, probably an argument I'm about to make more from my feelings than from pure logic, but that's okay, you know? That's just the I would say Dick Grayson. Partly because I just absolutely love him as a character. But also because, yeah, actually, you know what? Sorry, Jared. I'm probably making these questions really easy for you. But yeah, no, I thought his stint as Batman with Damien was just phenomenal. And so I would say Dick Grayson.
All right.
I was waiting for it, wondering what was going to
I was waiting
happen.
for it too. I was like, am I supposed to step big?
No,
Did
you
some
did.
cut out?
Well, let's
the
get into
perfect
it.
sound.
Who is the better Batman replacement?
Yeah, so why I said Terry, it's because he does take on the mantle of Batman Beyond. He is the futuristic Batman. Now, you might be asking, well, Jared, how is Terry McGinnis Batman's son? Well, I'm glad that you answered this question. So if you watch the Justice League at all, Justice League Unlimited, I believe that it is the end of the first season where it does like a kind of conclusion to Batman Beyond. So you figure out that Amanda Waller is like, well, hey, like the world always needs a Batman. So what are we going to do? So what she does is she steals Bruce Wayne's DNA and basically she injects it into Terry's dad, basically making it to where all of his kids are going to be Bruce Wayne's kids. So technically Bruce has two other kids other than Damien. That is Terry, and I don't remember Terry's brother's name, but I think it's not Max. It might be Max. I don't know. I think Max is his best friend. But anyways, point is, technically has two other biological kids. So, she tried to simulate what happened to Bruce. The assassin didn't go through with it. Actually, in one of our episodes, whenever we talked about the Mask of the Phantasm, that lady, she didn't go through with it. She couldn't do it. And tragically, his dad died and he found Bruce anyways and became Batman. Later on, he figured out somehow he's Bruce's like Bruce is his dad. He thinks Bruce did it. He finds Amanda Waller and says, "No, I did it." And so that's the first step. Is like, him being his son necessarily doesn't have to be like his son, to be the perfect Batman replacement, but that's just an added flavor. Now later on, in this series, he learns that like I don't want to be alone like Bruce, to where he comes to the conclusion of I'm going to be Batman and I'm going to have a life. He gets married. Well, he at least tries to propose. It doesn't say that he got married to his girlfriend, but he was pushing it off for years just because Bruce was like, this doesn't work. And so you have Terry that is like the perfect, like, hey, like I'm fighting crime, I'm using this detective, and he's using more of like, hey, I need a life as well. And so he does that in a perfect balance where Bruce really just pushed people away, and some of the stuff he did wasn't great, especially in this world, but we won't talk about that.
Terry McGinnis' younger brother is Matthew Matt McGinnis.
Okay. So I was close with the M. I think Max is like his friend.
Probably. I can look that up next. I can see. I just looked up the brother.
It's a female person. I'm pretty sure her name's Max.
Those are all very wonderful points, Jared. So one of the things that I would say Dick has got going for him as Batman is that, you've mentioned how like Bruce was notorious for, pushing people away, working alone, Mr. I work alone, who has 5 billion sidekicks, but that's beside the point. But like he is very notorious for not really being a very good team player. It's you follow his orders and that's it. Whereas something that I think Dick has got going for him as Batman is he has always been in some kind of partnership or team, right? He started off as Batman and Robin, right? He was part of the Teen Titans, other continuities, part of the Young Justice, right? He's always worked with other people, and he's a very personable kind of person, and so from the start, as Batman, he's already got this wealth of, being a leader, because he was leader of the Teen Titans, later the Titans for a while, right? He knows how to function in a team. He knows how to function as a leader. He knows how to do the vigilante song and dance with other people, and he can do it pretty well. He's not perfect at it, obviously, but he's got that right out the gate, versus you're saying like Terry, this was something he had to kind of realize later on and be like, hey, wait a minute, I'm doing exactly like my father. I don't want to do that. Let's reroute, whereas, Dick kind of already had that. And yeah, man, I came into this knowing that you've got more knowledge of just general Batman lore than I do. And I'm really noticing now just how much.
Because I am Batman, Gracie. I am.
You are. I know.
I am. It's okay.
Well, that declares
it's my fault.
Our opening statements.
Oh, was that the opening statement?
I thought we already did opening statements.
No,
we already did opening statements.
I went back in time.
Come on, host.
No, I don't remember. I went back in time. While you guys were talking.
Now here's the next question: who is the better replacement for Jared?
Who's the better replacement?
Roundtable. Who's the better?
It's me. It's me, Jared.
Elisha, honey, you just kind of blanked there.
I did. I did something, and then I just completely forgot where I was for like 2 seconds.
So I'm going to do something, and Gracie's going to hate it, but it's more of like, this is for the future, okay? Because we both know each other's arguments.
Yeah.
Like we basically know what we picked. So this is like a time bomb that is going to be set off in the next argument. So Gracie,
What? Okay.
character development. Okay,
Uh,
you've been arguing that at the beginning. I know you're going to argue that later. So yeah, basically, do you want someone that is just going to be handed all these things? See, he had to put in that hard work, okay, to actually learn. And it's kind of interesting because, like, Batman Beyond is a fusion of, I would say, Spider-Man, Batman, and Iron Man in the sense of it's a teenage boy that's still going to high school and is being a superhero. You got the Batman part because it's Batman, you know, and Bruce Wayne is Alfred in this situation, except like he's a professional Batman because he lived it. And then you have Iron Man because of all this tech stuff, you know. So that's what this version of Batman is, and he's having to learn it on his own with the help of Bruce Wayne being Alfred, and then the Commissioner being Barbara Gordon. So remember, Gracie, development, like developing things.
No, I hear you. I hear you. But just because Dick had some things right out the gate, he didn't have everything. Being Batman was never really a position that he wanted to take over, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
he specifically, like when he was older teenager, it was around the time like Jason popped into the story. They had that massive falling out. He walked away from Robin, became his own thing. That's how he got Nightwing, all that jazz, right? So it's like his and Bruce's relationship was rocky. Like he never intended to take up the Batman mantle, but when Bruce died very suddenly, it was like, oh crap, nobody else can really do this. So I guess I have to, right? And so, yeah, he's got the whole like leadership, teamwork, all of that going for him. But there is all of that lovely character development in him taking on and learning what does it mean to be Batman, right? Because he can't be Nightwing anymore. Now he's Batman. Like what does it mean to be Batman? And on top of that, he's got little baby Damien, who just got dropped into the story not too much prior, that is now Robin. And he's got to basically raise Damien because Bruce is MIA. And so there's all that character development of he's trying to figure out how to be Batman, how to do all this kind of stuff, and he has a little tiny assassin attached to his hip that he's got to try to teach, hey, don't kill, put the swords away. And so,
So he
like
still has
there's,
to learn to be Batman. Is that what you're saying?
yes, he just
Okay,
has
so just like
certain
Terry McGinnis
advantages,
had to learn.
but he's got certain advantages that a teenager just doesn't. And
Mhm.
so it's like he filled it in better initially, but there was still that learning process along the way. Yeah, so it's like the best of both worlds.
Well, and it's not like Batman Beyond hasn't had a team. I mean, he is part of the
Yeah,
Justice League later on, and so he does have that
yeah,
team aspect. And I would say later on, whenever he is this version, because it's not whenever he's a teenager, whenever he becomes his best version. This is like maybe 10 plus years of him figuring out all this stuff, him being Bruce's son, and really just becoming this version of Batman. So
mm,
it's not something that's overnight.
yeah.
It's something that's later on. And how many years was Dick Batman?
Oh, I don't remember.
I don't think it was a year, right?
I feel like it was between 1 and 2 years, I would say, but let me look it up. I should have
Dick
taken better
Grayson served as
notes.
Batman for approximately 3 years in universe, especially from 2009.
I'm talking
Battle of
about
the Cowl.
I'm talking about like in
Which one?
in that time, not necessarily how many years of our time, but I'm talking about in that world.
Yeah, 3 years in universe.
You 3 years in
Yeah.
universe, okay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can trust me. You can trust me, Jared.
Okay, I just thought you were saying something different.
In-universe spans over 1 year, often specifically tracked as nearly 9 months before Bruce Wayne returns, following a few additional months operating currently with Bruce. So
were
it should
we
be...
reading the same thing? I thought I saw the bugger. This is why I don't need to try to look stuff up in the middle of the conversation. This is what Elisha's for.
Yeah, this is. I originally got free, but then Jerry brought up a good point, so I make sure I was more specific with my question because it was saying 3 years, as in like from 2009 to 2011, as in comic book
okay,
years.
yeah.
But
Yeah.
in the universe, yes, it
was
only
9
spans for
months.
1 year, or
here's
nearly
the
8
thing.
months. Yeah.
Terry. So I looked it up, and that stuff. Whenever I figured out about Bruce and all that stuff, he was 31. So for like 15 years, he was already Batman, figuring this stuff out. And like, even though he replaced Batman for such a short amount of time, Batman came back and took back his job, and he went back to being Nightwing.
Yeah. That's a fair point.
Now, granted, Bruce was too old, having heart problems, and the reason why he retired being Batman was because he picked up a gun and almost shot a guy. So he's like, I can't be Batman anymore. I'm not fit to do it. But like I said, like literally, he was literally bred. Terry was bred to be Batman. Amanda Waller literally took Bruce's DNA for this guy to be Batman.
There's multiple levels of wrong with that. I'm
not saying it isn't right. I'm just saying it's fact. There's stuff in the Bible that I don't agree with. Doesn't mean it didn't happen. And what I mean by that, I mean like
very good point.
Like murders and stuff, and the Israelites sacrificing their kids to like false gods. That's what I'm talking about, guys. I'm not talking about the Bible being wrong. I'm just saying stuff happened that was wrong in the Bible, and the Bible says it's wrong. Just to clarify, so people don't take me out of context. I'm just telling you what happened.
Jack, I don't want to come back and make an episode of just all the points. And here's where it says in the Tanakh where it's not okay to do this. Like, I'll follow up to what you just said. Right. Okay. We are at our closing statements now, are we? Or am I also still lost? Okay, good.
Jared said yes.
Jared said it doesn't matter if
unless if she wants to keep going, I'm fine with it.
I'm good, man.
I ran out of points.
It is getting late, and I'm an old woman.
It should be Gracie. You are leading the closing statements.
Oh, wonderful. Dick Grayson's run as Batman was admittedly very short compared to Terry McGinnis's, but I think it was a good run. I think he did a good job. I feel like, he harkened back to, just the who's Batman, who's Robin, he brought his particular skills in like leadership, and his particular perspective as someone who'd been a vigilante since childhood into the role, and managed to corral a small League of Assassins trained Bruce Wayne child while he was at it. So I think that means he did a pretty dang good job as Batman in those 9 short months.
All right, Jared, you have the floor.
Okay, now I do love Dick, don't get me wrong. Actually, that could be taken out of context so bad.
I was about to say.
That's too funny to not keep it. So
I had to mute myself because I was like, oh man, I'm about to laugh so hard, but I can't point it out or people would just think.
This is why I try to say his full name as much as humanly possible.
So, I do like Dick Grayson, I can't
There
lie.
you
Like,
go.
he's a great character. Um,
I gotta text your wife after this.
yeah. Do it. I don't care. She can listen to this too. I'm not editing that out because it's too funny.
I'm so glad.
I can only think
But-
of the Lego Batman movie. It's like the kids in the orphanage call me
Okay,
Dick.
but I
That's
will
what-
ask if I can restart it just because you are laughing in the middle of it.
I'm so sorry.
You're fine. You're fine.
was
It's too
great.
funny.
That was great, Jared. Okay.
So yeah, he is a great character. He's very interesting, but he does turn over the cape back to Bruce. You know, if he's that better of a replacement, why doesn't he keep it? With Terry, I understand he's older. If Bruce Wayne could be Batman forever, he probably would be. But like I said, Terry was bred to be Batman. Whether right or wrong, what happened. But it happened. You know, it's just Miranda Waller doing what she does best, being a piece of crap for the government. But the thing is, it happened. He is the best replacement for Batman because he brings in what was good about Batman and makes it better. He makes it to where he's not pushing away people, stuff like that. And you see him grow into that later on in life.
Oh, okay. That was the closing statements. So we pick on this trend of talking about who's the better Robin, who's the better Batman replacement, but I think the greatest question of all of these, and honestly, I think it's very an easy answer to give to this question for anyone who has the right sense of mind. But here's the last question. Which is the best Batman adaptation? And I think we all know the answer to this, but let's see what our contestants have to say. Gracie, you will make the opening statements.
Wait, didn't I do that last round?
Did you?
No, I did.
I think
I think I
Jake. Yeah,
You have it.
I've been keeping track with my coin. I keep
Okay.
flipping it.
I keep track as well. So
Yeah.
you
Okay,
got it.
okay. I'm so
I
good.
believe it should be you if I haven't lost my
Yes.
mind.
Listen, it's fine. I can have the disadvantage. We know that, like, I'm pretty good at this.
You are really good at this, yes. Yeah, so I said the 2022 Batman movie with Robert Pattinson, which I don't know, maybe that's a hot take. I'm not sure. I don't talk to a whole lot of people about this kind of stuff. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I felt like after the craziness that has happened with superhero movies, it felt like going back to the roots of the character. And Andy Serkis as Alfred was so much better than I thought it would be. He did a phenomenal job. So I thoroughly enjoyed the Batman. So at least in recent history, I would say that's pretty dang good adaptation.
All right. Jared, you have the floor.
So, basically, I think there's only really two right answers to this. And the reason why I'm picking this answer is because I think that this is necessarily the better version of Batman, but I think the two right answers is the animated series or the Arkham series. And so, it just depends on what you want to really argue. For the animated series, there's a little bit more character development. You see more of Bruce Wayne's humanity. I've chosen not to do the animated series. I've chosen to do what I believe is a little bit more of the better version of Batman, and that is the Arkham series. I feel like it has a lot of improving the animated series in some ways, and in some ways it doesn't do some stuff that the animated series does. So that's why, like, I think both of them would be the right answer, but I'm going to argue more for the Arkham series. Well, I am arguing the Arkham series, not arguing more. I am arguing the Arkham series.
It's good clarification. Don't forget the little sound.
Oh yeah, you're right. I almost forgot it.
Yeah, that's what I was waiting for. Let's get it.
That was fantastic. Was that a car? I guess
that was a
hitting
toilet
wall?
exploding.
What?
Amazing. Oh.
Yeah, so like I said, I picked the Arkham series because it takes the animated series and it makes it better in some ways. So you get to see Batman use more of his detective skills and scanning a crime scene and putting the pieces together and being like, oh, this is where this person went, using his technology to really track down criminals. And also, yeah, they brought back all the original voice actors and actresses from the animated series. So yeah, that's a little bit of why I picked that more.
See, and that was something that I really did love about the Batman, the 2022 Batman movie is, while it was incredibly modern, like the technology that Bruce is utilizing was, um, very much like high tech and everything. It did show a lot of his just plain old detective work, like him just his brain and the clues working through it all. Especially when they uh, employed a villain like the Riddler. Um, I feel like that's a good setup for focusing on Batman as a detective, because you can't just go in and punch the Riddler, right? You got to find him first, and he leaves those clues, the riddles, everything everywhere. And so that was something that I really enjoyed about that movie.
But I think that the Riddler was one of the weakest points of the movie because he wasn't the Riddler. He didn't act like the Riddler.
Yeah.
Like whenever I think that the majority of my arguments isn't going to be against the Robert Patterson Batman.
Yeah.
I think that it was an okay Batman. I don't feel like it's the best. I feel like just going back to it, it's great value pizza. It's good, but you want Domino's, you want Pizza Hut, you want these bigger names. If you're picking pizza, if you had a choice, and I feel like like Arkham series is Domino's. It is those things. But I will go back to my point with Riddler. He's just like a loser that's trying to get Batman on his side. He thinks that Batman's on his side, and then whenever Batman's not on his side, he cries about it. Now, the Riddler that I'm
Yeah.
used to is, hey, Batman, you're dumb. You can't even figure out this riddle. Oh, do I have to help you, Batman? And like literally he rubs in his face. He's so prideful. He's so arrogant. And it really tests out Batman's like intellectual, like basically his smarts, his detective skills of just trying to figure out, I got to figure out this puzzle really quick or I'm dead. I got to figure out this puzzle really quick or people die. And it's basically like the Riddler will give you a chance to free yourself or free the other people. He just thinks you're too dumb to do it. And that's not what we got in this movie.
Clearly, I need to consume more Batman media. Oh, yeah. No, those are very good points. Yeah. I feel like I'm sorry. I feel like I'm not contributing terribly well to this particular
You're
question.
just doing your best.
Yeah.
I'll let you switch if you want.
Well, see, and I'm mostly familiar with the more mainstream Batman movies. So like the Dark Knight trilogy, um, I'm trying to think, what else have I watched? You know, my focus has never been Batman so much as like Nightwing or the other um Robins. So I know less about him. Though I don't know. So I will say that this if are you at all familiar with the what is it? The Wayne Family Adventures comic?
Not
'Cause
I
really.
am actually. Yes, I
I don't
am.
think I am, but
I was about to say, 'cause that's a pretty great adaptation of Batman.
That is a fantastic adaptation.
listen, if you want to
Batman.
switch, that's fine. I'll let you switch. I just don't know
Like-
You mean
anything
I'll
about it.
let you switch, Jared? You mean I will allow that?
Listen, I'm the guy that she's going up against. Like, I will.
I'm the
consent
one
to
in the
that.
throne, right? I make the rules.
Because here's the thing, she basically picked a great value pizza, which I will let her return it and get a better one. That's totally fine.
Dog, are you hungry? I feel like you have made everything you've made a food analogy for.
Dude, food is great.
I know food is great, but I feel like
Food is great.
you're mentioning food more in this episode than any other episode.
People can relate with food.
Gracie, do you wish to switch your main argument
Yeah,
to
you know what?
let's
To
do
the
it.
Wayne Family Adventures Batman.
If that's up to your choosing, then yes.
Yeah, sure, let's do that.
But you don't get an opening argument again.
Oh no, that's fine. Yeah, no, the Batman of Wayne Family Adventures is, someone who can y'all hear my dang cat through the headphones? Please
No.
tell me y'all
No,
can't.
we
Okay,
we
praise
do not.
God.
You're good.
She is. I can hear her through my headphones, but anyways. So he is a lot better at working with his team, with the Robins, with the like Nightwing and Red Robin. He is still that good detective, right? But we see more of the side of him that is, working with the Justice League, that's, bringing in Batwoman if he can't figure something out or he needs help. And I really do love that depiction of Bruce Wayne, of Batman, as not just the loner standing in the rain, I work alone, pushing everyone away, but like actually getting to the point of his life where he's learning like, hey, no, like this is my family essentially. Like, we're all vigilantes, we all have our strengths. Like, why don't we actually work together to tackle problems? And so I really do enjoy. I like that depiction a lot.
I do want to clarify something. The time bomb is off now because I knew that Gracie was probably going to go into character development with this version of Batman. And so that's what I was setting up for later, that she either had to concede my argument with Terry or like she couldn't use that. But that's what I was trying to set up for later, but now that she's switched, I can't use that anymore, so
Sadness. Sorry.
it's okay. It's fine. I'm actually glad you switched. Even though
Yeah.
I haven't really done much with this Batman, like I don't really know what you're talking about.
It's a great webcomic. You should check it out.
Like just I knew the Robert Patterson one. It's like it's good, but it's not great. It's like to me it's a one and done. Really watch. And I know that Nathan is going to be like, Jared, you're wrong. It's like, well, I'm that Batman expert. Just like he's the Star Wars one. I can tell him
You
all this
are
stuff.
the local Batman expert.
Exactly.
I would agree.
But yeah, how about you tell us more about this so that I can get a feel for feel for your new pick.
Well, I mean, trying to think what else to say about it. It follows, essentially the focus is, I mean, it's literally called Wayne Family Adventures. So
Mhm.
the focus is primarily on, the God, man, I really am a sucker for character development. Wow, you. But the focus
I
is
guess it
on
went off
character.
again anyway, so you got to concede.
Right,
You got to concede.
right.
It actually went off.
I do. I gotta concede. But yeah, so like the focus is more so on the characters, on Bruce, Batman, Nightwing, Red Hood, spoiler, Black Bat. Like they bring the whole. Gosh, I can't remember Duke Thomas's alternate, what his vigilante name is, but anyways, like it it focuses on essentially how they all function together, like when they are like when they're butting heads, as they are wont to do, when they are actually setting aside their differences to say like, hey, this is a threat that we all got to tackle together. So you really see the side of Bruce and Batman that is more of a team player, right? He's not just him doing his own thing all the time. It's him finally conceding like, yeah, let's be a team player. Let's do this together. You know,
So you said this is like a web comic?
yes.
Okay, that's interesting. How long has it been
Oh,
out?
mm, good question. Let me see. I know it's been a few years. Let me. Ba-da.
Okay.
But huh?
Huh? Huh?
Eh.
Elisha, do you know how long Wayne Family Adventures has been out?
You know what? I think I do. I may not know in the top of my head. Let me double check. I
Okay,
know
because
it's been
I'm
very
trying to
recent.
find it. Well, it's been a
Yeah,
few years.
finding web comment
So is this something
information is
that
hard.
DC has
No.
produced? Okay.
Oh,
Oh, I thought they
yes,
were like
yes.
halfway a part of it. I
Yeah,
thought they were part
DC.
of it.
Yes, they are. I'm looking at it now.
I was
So
like,
I guess
what?
it's just DC is
Yeah,
letting someone else use the license.
I
Batman
think that's what it is.
Wayne
Yeah.
Family Adventures is a massively popular outgoing digital comic series published on Webtoon platform in collaboration with DC Comics. It is written by C.R.C. Payne and illustrated by Star Byte.
2021 is when it first started.
2021.
Yes.
Okay.
So yeah, it is in collaboration with DC.
Oh, yeah, that's cool.
Hmm.
But yeah, for me, like you're going to get this from every single Batman fan. Like you're going to get comparisons from the animated series till something
Hmm.
defeats that. That's just a fact. And something because I didn't pick the animated series, I picked the next like closest thing that I feel like is more superior with the Batman stuff, while I feel like the animated series is more superior with the Bruce stuff. But they're still both great. Um, but you're going to have that comparison, and that's why I definitely picked Arkham. Because it's like the closest thing to the animated series because it's basically like the successor to the animated
Hmm.
series. And I mean, like that's just the thing that you're gonna have that comparison no matter what. Like
Yeah.
people in the comments that know Batman, they're going to compare all of our arguments to the animated series.
I
If
know.
they know it.
I'm not reading
That may
comments
or
on
may
this
not
one.
have been what I was referring to when I was opening this question, which was the Batman animated series. So I may be speaking for the mass public here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But-
See, I know my opinions are wrong.
Hey,
I'm just-
this is a conversation show. Not to say
Exactly.
that you're wrong, but really
We're
it's just to
learning,
talk
we're
about
growing.
it. Exactly. It's just to talk
We're
about,
having
there
useless
there
conversation.
are people that they're probably going to love your takes, Gracie, and that's okay. I'll say this, it's funny how we have this inside joke that I basically trigger Nate all the time. And
Yeah.
you can listen to it. Elijah was there last night whenever we recorded this. This will probably come out before the Zuko episode comes out. So Zuko's coming out, guys. Avatar. Watch it whenever it comes out.
I'm excited for that one. I love Zuko.
Yeah, I actually made reference to we're recording this tonight in that. But I literally trigger Nate all the time by saying that the animated series is better than the Avatar series. And he gets so triggered and he gets off. And I mean, there's been times whenever Nathan said, "Oh, your opinions are wrong." But the beauty about this show is that it's not about who's right or wrong. The show is literally about really just having conversations. And you know what? I kind of want to check this out. You made me want to check this web series out. I might not necessarily read it. I might do a YouTube video on it, watch it.
Yeah.
And it's something that is just I feel like, the best conversations at the end of the day, they're ones where you grow and you listen. And that's what I want to do with this series is just have these great conversations with things that don't matter at the end of the day.
Yeah, 1,000%.
So don't feel like you haven't contributed, you're just doing the best you can. So just keep it up. And we're not fighting you. We're just talking with you.
At least you didn't have a major brain fog and you thought you went back in time for 3 seconds. So
Yeah.
You're
Which
doing
is
better than I am.
hilarious.
At least I'm not admitting all your dirty secrets like someone we know.
Oh my
that did it last time.
We won't name
We're
her
talking
here.
about her husband, which we love.
Yes, we all dearly love my husband, but oh my word. So sometimes he just says stuff and it's like, oh, okay.
Well,
it's
I'm-
what makes conversations with him so interesting.
yeah. Well, I'm cool with ending it there if you are.
Yeah, no, I've definitely learned I need to consume more Batman content with the animated show being right at the top of that list.
Animated series, man. I literally
Yes.
got here. Oh yeah, I'll end it with this. I literally bought the complete series. I got it for my birthday. I think it was for under $50. Blu-ray.
Ooh.
You get 2 movies with it. Mask of the Phantasm, which we did an episode on it with Kingdom Geeks. So check it out, and then you get the Mr. Freeze one. But
Nice.
yeah, we'll do this.
That guy had a little echo at the end there.
Yeah, hung around for a bit.
Jade, you are closing first.
Yeah, for me, like I said, I'll just be repeating everything I said, so I'll just give a quick little summary. I feel like the animated series is the best. And like I said, I pulled off the successor. I picked the successor to the animated series, which is the Arkham series. And I think that it does the best version of Batman and not really pulling its punches. In the animated series, it does pull a little bit of the punches because it is for kids. With the Arkham series, they don't pull their punches. They give you raw Batman, how I believe it should be.
All right, Gracie, it's now your turn.
As someone who hasn't seen the animated series, I deeply enjoy Wayne Family Adventures because it is it's a fun comic, fun web comic. It shows a side of Batman that's more of a team player, somebody who has his faults, but is much more willing to try to work through them than we sometimes see of the loner, stubborn type. And I really enjoy that. But yeah, we'll definitely be watching the animated series in the near future.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm glad we turned someone to the animated series so that it would change her life.
we won today.
Yes.
We won
Yes.
today, guys.
That was
We all
totally the whole
won
point
today.
of this podcast.
Yeah,
Oh boy.
Nathan and Nate, we're coming for you. Even though Nate's seen it, we're turning him. He's going to say,
Yep.
mark my words, he's going to say that Batman the Animated Series is the better series than Avatar.
Hey,
Mark my words.
I've watched Avatar: The Last Airbender, so I can watch the animated series and we can get out of here.
And then Gracie will
Goodbye,
agree
boys.
with me.
Yeah.
Well, I'll just do a couple of the plug-ins. So if you haven't really seen our podcast, Kingdom Geeks, it's on Spotify, YouTube, whatever you're listening on, this is what it's on. So go find us. Also, if you want to see a little bit of what I'm doing, you can check me out on Twitch or YouTube with Shaggy Batman. Doing Kingdom Hearts right now. Going to do a series of a couple of characters eventually. Still trying to figure out the streaming stuff and how to make the videos great. So they're not great, but they're doable. So give me grace there if you ever watch that. I don't know, Gracie, if there's anything that you want to shout out. I don't think you really are on anything. You're just one of our friends that helps us out.
Yeah, I just kind of exist on the internet randomly.
Do you write? It's this. You don't have to answer this question, but do you write a fan fiction?
I do, yes.
Go check her fan fiction out, guys.
Yeah.
I don't know what it
Share
is.
some love.
Share some love. I don't know what it's about,
Right.
but it's the
Please.
best fan fiction ever.
It's Legend of Zelda. It's on Archive of Our Own.
So is it like Breath of the
Where
Wild
can we
stuff,
find
or
it?
is it its own thing,
Yeah.
or what?
Breath of the
Okay.
Wild.
I'm
Yeah,
actually
it's
playing some Tears of the Kingdom for also Kingdom Geek, so expect something like that.
oh, it's called.
Actually, we should probably have you on for
Yeah.
that. Really.
For which one?
Oh, whenever I do, like I might.
Breath of the
Well, I
Wild.
don't want to give away too many details, but I want to try to do Zelda in the near future. And so I
Heck
forgot
yeah.
that you and Johnny played that, so I gotta have y'all on for that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Well,
But what is your fanfic called, and where can we find it and support it?
It's on Archive of Our Own. It's called The Legend of Zelda: Light of the Dawn.
guys, right now, go follow it, read it, and leave a nice comment.
It needs to be updated.
Hey, you know,
I
that's
have a whole
fine.
chapter written that I just gotta edit and post.
That's
It's
fine.
better than what I wrote and put on the internet, so we'll go look at that one.
And everyone leave some love for Elijah in the comments for hosting. Thank you, Elijah. And I will take
Yes.
back my job. But literally, y'all don't know how hard it is to want to get in this and talk. I have to bite my tongue so much because I want to talk.
Well, Jay,
But if
you
you're the
mute
host,
yourself
you
like
can't
I
do
do and just yell at the screen.
Oh, I don't. I just bite.
Yeah, I've done that a
Here's
few
what
times.
I honestly do. I honestly bite my tongue, and if I really want to say something afterwards, I say it whenever the recording's off to be unbiased.
Well,
That's my
I
secret.
I think you should take your. I think honestly, you should take your chair back because I don't know if we're gonna
Okay.
keep it on that. But when I completely went back in time, and so I'm gonna say I cannot hold this power. I blame that I'm sitting in this chair in the first place. So I'm gonna give it back to you because it seems like only you know
Okay.
how to control it.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And actually, we'll have Elijah on. It should be the next one. So
Yes,
be watching for the next
none
one.
other than Mr. Johnny himself.
Not Johnny Gracie's husband, but a different Johnny. We
Different
gotta
We have so many
figure.
Johnnies.
Yeah, we gotta figure out names
We
somehow.
know too many people.
We need
that's
me
true.
gets to find even more Johnnies.
We'll
so
just
we
call
can
him
create our
Pastor
own
Johnny because he
Johnnyverse.
just turned into a pastor. So
Yeah, there we go.
we'll call him Pastor Johnny. But anyways,
Pastor
thank
Johnny.
you all for listening, and y'all have a good one.
Bye.